Coming up, residents hope for affordable housing options in Iowa City. And later, students protest a controversial speaker on campus.
And after taking over Kinnick, the women's basketball team ranks high.
With higher temperatures than last week, this could be one of Iowa's last warm ones.
Coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News.
Don't go anywhere. DITV News starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in live to DITV and KRUI 89.7 FM.
I'm Vivian Smosky.
And I'm Ashley Wheel. The Iowa City School District has announced the removal of multiple books from their school libraries. A state law bans books depicting or describing sexual content to promote age-appropriate materials for students. Books removed by the Iowa City Community School District include works by Stephen King, Colleen Hoover, and several other authors. The law requires the district to publish a comprehensive list of all of the removed books by January 1st of next year. And students from the Hawkeye Marching Band have signed an NIL deal. 18 band members from the Mellophone section were compensated by the Brick Kitchen, a kitchenware store in Independence, Iowa. The store plans to work with band members for social media advertising. This is the first time in history that members of the Hawkeye Marching Band have been compensated for the use of their name, image, or likeness in advertising and marketing purposes. Now, that is so exciting for them. I've never heard of anything like this. So neat.
I mean, that's so awesome that they get the opportunity to do that. I think that's a great thing for them. That's awesome.
And it's starting to feel like fall, especially when we're heading out to those football games and watching the marching band at halftime. And we have DITV's Elise Gann live outside with our forecast for the rest of this week.
Thanks, guys. I'm currently live outside of the Pentacrest, and it is a solid 49 degrees. I am personally loving this recent fall weather, for I am not the biggest fan of the heat. Today will be mostly sunny with a perfect high of 67 and a low of 49 later on in the night. And as more clouds cover the sky tomorrow, the temperature will drop with a high of 61 and a low of 49. The rest of the week is looking to be very similar, with mostly cloudy skies taking over, highs in the 60s during the day and lows ranging from the high 30s to the low 60s at night, continuing through the weekend. Make sure to take this weather to your advantage, since this could be one of the last weeks in the 60s for a long time. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Elise. And City Council held a second hearing on the zoning code amendment last night. DITV's Colin Carruthers has more on how Iowa City is reacting.
Residents of Iowa City flocked to City Council last night to protest in favor of changes from more affordable housing to the zoning code.
Immigrants and refugees, we would like the opportunity to find an accessible place to live that's dignified as well, near the city.
The proposed zoning code changes include ease of restrictions on accessory apartments, creating regulatory incentives for affordable housing, and addressing fair housing concerns to further the city's equity and inclusion goals, but was postponed earlier this month by the city to better construct its language.
It will help like Iowa City to decrease the price of rent.
I have a lot of first-hand experience about what goes on at the end of Fairchild, where you are considering tearing a single-family house down and allowing a triplex to be built.
The residents who attended City Hall tonight hope for Iowa City to become a more affordable place for all to live. From Iowa City City Council, Colin Carruthers, DITV.
And Monday night, the Young Americans for Freedom chapter hosted Chloe Cole. Cole shared her story about transitioning from female to male, then detransitioning. She now advocates against gender-affirming care for minors.
I felt more and more hopeless because I was going to somebody who was supposed to help me, and I wasn't getting anything.
At the lecture and Q&A, Cole shared stories of her experiences and the lack of guidance she received from healthcare providers.
It's very moving. She shared a very emotional, personal story, and I thought it was very, very powerful.
She feels she was pushed to transition and did not receive proper treatments for her mental health and gender dysphoria.
And I feel like the transgender community in general is not getting the help
that it needs.
Other students stayed outside the IMU in protest of coal and YAF.
I think there's a time and a place for free speech. I mean, at what point does this just become systemic hatred?
We love people who are trans, we love people who detransition, but we should not remove all gender-affirming health care because it hurts trans people. And all people. We need that health care. We shouldn't ban it just because somebody had a bad experience with it.
Others took the time to create a positive space for transgender people.
I'm just here protesting for their rights to exist the same way that I do.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair that these people are being attacked for wanting to feel the way that they feel. So we're just trying to come support the community out here.
Until something changes, we're not going to stop protesting, and until we feel like we are safe here, like, just be prepared to be sick of us, like, for real.
The protest ended with a march to the president's house around 8:30 p.m. YAF does have another speaker set to come to the university in November. And the demand for nurses and teachers has never been higher across the nation, and especially in Iowa. We have DITV's Matthew Turpin live outside the Lindquist Center, home of the University of Iowa College of Education, with more.
Yeah, thanks, Ashley. There are over 2,000 openings for nurses and teachers in the state of Iowa alone. The University of Iowa recognized this and has introduced new scholarships for these majors. Iowa legislators approved $6.5 million in funding to help these new scholarship programs. This money is meant to help encourage more students pursue careers in these fields and to help more nurses graduate from the number 4 ranked Iowa Nursing School. Back to you in the studio.
And in a sit-down conversation with the University of Iowa's president, Barbara Wilson, with DITV and the Daily Iowan Reporters, DITV Assistant News Director Johnny Voltman has more about what President Wilson talked about with future plans and how things are going on campus.
Before we could ask any questions for President Wilson, she started our conversation talking about the new Together Hawkeye campaign, which hopes to bring in $3 billion to the University of Iowa.
So it's a big day, and it's a big moment for Iowa, for the University of Iowa. People love the Hawkeyes, and our alums are intensely loyal, and they, for the most part, had a great experience here. And what they want to do is ensure that the next generation of students has the same kind of experience that they've had.
Facing recent faculty shortages and some colleges being short on money at the university, Wilson is putting an emphasis on changing these trends.
I'm the first to say we got to make sure class is the best college it can be. And we have to make sure that they've got the resources to do the best that they can do for all of you.
President Wilson also commented on the university's recent drop in rankings on the U.S. News and World Report rankings.
We're still the same university we were last year. Which universities excel at writing across the disciplines? Look at the list. We're the only public in the list. Did we drop a little bit? Yeah, but we're still tied with Yale. We're still the only public in the top 10.
With a second protest this year against a controversial speaker taking place yesterday, Iowa still wants to welcome a variety of speakers to campus.
Free inquiry and First Amendment rights of students, faculty, and staff. So it's hard for students to understand that sometimes, but that's what a big university is about. It's about differences. And I guess the thing that's, for me, I hope people are learning through all of this. Opening their minds, opening their hearts, listening and learning. Talk with one another across these terrains, and if Hawkeyes can't do it, who can?
President Wilson also spoke about the women's basketball team, the search for a new athletic director, the recent sale of Mercy Hospital, and more. The full interview can be found on the Daily Iowan webpage. From the University of Iowa, Johnny Voltman, DITV.
And a new student organization has been formed at the university aimed at helping the homeless in Iowa City. DITV's Hannah Lipsky has more on the new student org.
I was thinking of just raising some money on my own, but then I thought that I should probably take another step and start an organization because I figured the more people, the better, and the more impact we could have here.
Hurley is the founder and president of the Iowa City Homeless Project. This new student org's goal is to raise money and collect supplies to donate to homeless shelters like Shelter House in Iowa City, whom Hurley originally worked with in starting this organization.
It's
a big operation. It takes a lot to support folks when there's not adequate affordable housing in our community, because everyone deserves a place to be called home.
Iowa City has a 26.8% poverty rate, which is more than double the national average.
The reason a person is experiencing homelessness is because they don't have access to housing they can afford.
At their first meeting, members worked alongside Tippy Students for Service and made yarn from plastic bags and donated it to Shelter House.
You know, for me, this is brand new, so I don't have it all figured out yet, so every day is just a learning process, and I can only hope that after I'm gone, the next people that take it over, they're just going to keep making it better and better as the year goes on.
From downtown Iowa City, this is Hannah Lipsky, DITV.
Last night, a widely recognized ensemble called Blue Heron performed at the Voxman Music Building. The School of Music holds performances like these once a semester, and this semester they brought an a cappella group from Boston, Massachusetts.
They wouldn't necessarily come to Iowa City of all places, and so that's maybe the greatest benefit of all of this, is that we are exposing not only the students but the whole community, the whole region, to a level of live music making, and in this case, early music, which you don't hear very often.
Was free to the public, and the main goal was to present a rare opportunity for students at the university to learn from some of the premier vocalists in America. And in Washington, the race to find the next Speaker of the House is continuing to ramp up. DITV's Jace Bertrand has more.
History was made when former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy was ousted from his position earlier this month. And as the search for a new speaker continues, the precedents continue to be broken. Last week, Louisiana Representative Steve Scalise was selected as the Republican Party's nominee, but dropped out of the race a few hours later after failing to garner enough votes to ensure his swearing in. Republicans then turned to runner-up Jim Jordan, a staunch ally of former President Trump. However, on Tuesday, his appointment fell through as well, with 20 Republicans refusing to vote him into office. After failing to sway any more representatives to his side, the scheduled second vote was postponed to Wednesday. Meanwhile, the Democratic Party has nominated New York Representative Hakeem Jeffries for the role, and though all 212 Democrats threw their support behind him, Jeffries did not have enough votes to secure the position. Pressure is mounting on the House to find its next speaker, as the Israeli-Hamas war continues to rage on, and another government shutdown is just a month away. This is Jace Bertrand, DITV.
And after on Sunday, the women's basketball team took to Kinnick, and it feels like there's been a lot of buzz about them lately.
Oh gosh, they are unbelievable. I mean, 56,000 people, I believe. I mean, it was insane. I mean, the University of Iowa's women's basketball team has now been ranked number 3 in the country. Women's basketball has now received this highest ranking since 1994. The Lady Hawks have been ranked in the top 10 for 3 consecutive seasons and 6 times in school history. Last season, women's basketball was ranked number 4 nationally, finishing as NCAA's national runner-up. They were also noted as Big Ten preseason favorite. Now they are currently ranked right behind the reigning NCAA champion LSU and UConn. Last season, they complied an overall record of 31-7 and a conference record of 15-3, contributing to their final ranking, taking the number 3 overall spot. After defeating the Badgers and taking back the Heartland Trophy, the Hawkeyes offense sees another player fall to a season-ending injury. Alongside Cade McNamara and Luke Lachey, Eric All has suffered from a torn ACL injury and will now be out for the remainder of the season. This occurred last Saturday as All had to be carted off the field during the first quarter as he took a hit to the knee. All leads the Hawkeyes with 21 receptions and 299 receiving yards. All has been a major component to Iowa's offense with 19 catches for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also took the top spot, leading the team with 5 receptions for 97 yards over their win against Purdue. And one specific player on Iowa's defense has loved the game since day one. DITV's Aiden Wirtz has more on number 29.
Sebastian Castro is from Oak Lawn, Illinois, where his dream of being a Division I athlete was born under the lamplights of a dead-end street.
There was a lot of kids in that neighborhood, and we all would just play sports. It would be like 8 inches of snow, however much, and we would just
we loved every second of it. And then we had like a pretty decent basement, and we would just like move all the couches, move everything, and it would be one guy at one end of the wall, and there'd be like 4 people waiting from on the other side of the wall, and that one person has to score. I wasn't really scared of anyone. I mean, at first I was, but it really helped just like playing with the older guys, and it made me a lot better. On Saturdays, number 29 darts all around the field and influences his teammates to give the same effort.
You're seeing that guy fly around like that, then in your head you're like, I got to be flying around like that.
When you get him mad, he'll talk a little bit, but I don't think people want to do that. I think that just makes him play that much better.
Even with all the attention he receives in Iowa City, Castro never forgets to thank the supporters back home. Just knowing that they were there for me, and I know they love the fact that they did that for me in a sense, and they see where I'm at now and the heights I'm reaching. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Castro and this defense will look to keep the wins rolling as the season goes on. And after another trophy win last weekend in Wisconsin, the Iowa football team now prepares to take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers for the Floyd of Rosedale.
It's the Floyd Trophy. They always talk about it and what it means, and the Floyd of Rosedale and how it came about and things like that. But anytime it's a trophy game, it means a lot.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about it. I know they're not the biggest fans of us, and I know we're not the biggest fans of them. I know the trophy has a pig on it. I'm still learning. I've got a lot of other stuff to focus on right now.
It's just like I think about everybody that's been here in the past, and I just want to do it for them. That's my mindset comes to the game, and doing it for the guys.
The Iowa women's basketball team continues to add hype to their upcoming season. DITV Sports writer David Consuelos has more on the key piece to the team.
With the excitement for the Iowa women's basketball team continuing to grow, many are asking who will make a big leap this season. One of the key returners is sophomore forward Hannah Stolke, who looks to improve on her impressive first season.
I think everyone saw last year just how good, how athletic, how fast Hannah Stolke was. This year, I think over the summer, she became a better basketball player. And that's what we needed for her to become. And I think now she understands the game better. Her shot is better. And so I think that we can use Hannah at the power forward, or if we want to go fast, we could also use her at the center position.
After leading all freshmen in minutes last season, Hannah Stolke earned numerous accolades, including Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year, creating much anticipation for her sophomore season.
First of all, I had to get stronger, so I've been in the weight room. Got a little bigger, if you can't tell. No, just kidding. I think just getting lots of post reps. I work with the posts in practice. I work with the guards in practice. I'm all over the place. So, just getting as many reps as I can is what's been most important.
After losing 2 key starters in McKenna Warnock and Monica Sinano, the Iowa women's basketball team looks to Hannah Stolke to step up big this season. From Carver Hawkeye Arena, David Consuelos, DITV Sports.
Thanks, David. And on Thursday, the University of Iowa Athletic Department will unveil a new student ticket model for select sports in order to improve flexibility and to boost attendance. Student tickets for men's basketball, women's basketball, and men's wrestling will all be available for purchase at 9 a.m. and will be selling for $5 per event. So be sure to head over and grab your tickets, Hawkeyes.
Now, Vivian, I'm sure those tickets will be going quick, especially those women's basketball tickets. I'm sure if they are doing as well as they are anticipated to, those tickets will go quick.
I mean, only for $5. I mean, you gotta grab them. You gotta grab them.
And I don't know if you've been in the Halloween spirit recently with all this fall weather, but Google has just released the top costumes for this Halloween season. Be prepared to see a lot of pink. The top costume is, no surprise, is Barbie. You can see here that some great Barbie costumes. And of course, this is following the widely successful blockbuster film over the summer. Other notable costumes to keep an eye out for in the top 10 are Wednesday Addams and the classics of Spider-Man and Cowboys. And thank you all for tuning in to DITV News and listening to KRUI 89.7 FM.
Be sure to head over to dailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday.
For DITV News, I'm Ashley Wheel.
And I'm Vivian Samosky. Have a great day.